All right. What's good? 300 people, 300 light beings. Hope you're all having a very nice Saturn day. December 9th, or so they say. If you're here, that means you're alive. Okay, I'm just going to let some more people join up. Right on time. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Boost the algorithm a little bit. Spread the heat. Lolo Blondo, much love. Bronco, much love. I appreciate y'all. Pascal, sending lots of love over to Poland. Mr. Jansen, appreciate you showing up, brother. Hope you're having an amazing weekend so far. Love Stonks, appreciate you. Primal Water. Saw love. Cordy G, hope you're doing incredible. All right. Somebody said, why is he ignoring Flare all the time? Let's see how many altcoins there are. See how many we could ignore. As of today on CoinGecko, there is 11,383 shitcoins in the matrix. And I am clearly ignoring them. How dare I? We got to get that soundbite from Greta. How dare you? Shout out to Greta. This podcast is sponsored by Greta Thunberg. This goes out to climate change. This podcast today, this live stream is funded by the climate change activism philanthropy organization, limited liability company. This podcast goes out to Stockholm, Sweden, for creating this masterpiece of a human being. Sponsored by the World Economic Forum. All right, yeah. Kicking off things. How many names does this person? Greta Tintin, Eleonora Ernman Thunberg. Holy shit. That's a name. Tintin? What? All right. This today's live stream is this podcast. This what are we gonna call it? Today's live is funded by Greta Thunberg and Flare Network. They are the proud sponsors of today's sauna stream. Light Absorber, I appreciate you sending lots of love. Lola Blondo, I appreciate you. Hit 70,000 subscribers. Pretty mind-blowing. Pretty dope. For real though, actually I'll be serious, like for real. I'm super grateful for everyone. I can't believe what we've built. It's beautiful. In just a couple of years, I mean, we've been spending more time in a bear market than a bull run. And we've been just doing something different. Just doing something different. Now, I think a lot of people realize everything that I was talking about at the beginning of my channel, all the way up through the end of that first year. I was trying to remind people that if you're only happy when there's a bull run, then get ready to be sad a lot more time. And we saw that. We saw a lot of people that were just like super, like for once they felt some sense of purpose because some investment they made was going up. And then the moment it started coming back down, they were depressed, anxious, worried, full of fear, complaining, blaming, playing the victim. And I tried warning people, like, you gotta check in with your soul, Like this is a game. We're in a simulation. Like, you need to learn how to maneuver in these streets. But if you're only happy when the market's up, well, then look at how small of a time frame the market goes up. Look at how much of the time frame the market's down, right? So I think that's why everything has gone the way it has over the past couple years over here at Waters Above. Because we built that foundation. We built that foundation of the realization that there's more to life than this crypto market. There's more to life than money. There's more to life than these charts. And also to be open to abundance in the process as well. I think it's a good place to get started today, but we'll pivot. I appreciate all the kind words regarding hitting 70,000 subscribers, but I still feel like we're just getting started. I feel like we're just getting started. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful next year. I'm excited to be a part of everyone's journey. I'm excited to continue to do these live streams. Just hang out with everyone, talk about life, be vulnerable, explore consciousness. Magali, I hope you're doing amazing. Much love. Johnny Bobang, appreciate you. Sending lots of love. Rocio, appreciate you. Zoracle, that's beautiful to hear. Josh Ballinger, appreciate you. Maria D. Carlucci, appreciate you. All right. I'm just looking through some of this right now. Some of this chat. DD Delicious said, waterboard me, please. We got to make a meme. Waterboard me, please, daddy. Meme. I'm going to make a t-shirt that says that. It's just going to be like the firmament cracking open. And like, oh, yo, that would be so fucking dope. Yo, I'm going to design this right here. It's going to look so... I can't do it exactly the way that I am envisioning it. Yeah, JS Paint. Let's go. All right, so we got our firmament, right? Oh shit. Failure already. You guys know how it goes with these trackpads. I'm not using a mouse. Who uses mouses? Fuck. Okay, let's try it again. Let's go from right to left. Yo, I'm having so much fun. Ooh, okay. Yeah, fuck. Okay, great. Yeah. So this is like Patrick Starr's house, right? So we're going to have Patrick Starr's house. That's me right there. Oh, welcome to another day in the Matrix. All right. So we have the Rock. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I hope you're having an amazing day. All right. So we got the firmament dome. And then we'll have like above, like it'll look like somebody's like mouth speaking from the sky, you know? We'll have it be like some goddess or something. And then we'll have the firmament like cracking open. Yeah, you guys steal my idea. I'm coming after you in the spirit realm. And then below it says waterboard me, please, daddy. This is the best t-shirt of all time. And then it's just like somebody below listening. I love you guys. We need to have fun. We need to. Brian Hardy, I appreciate you. Moonbird says never skip leg day. Amen. Titanium Shakespeare, I really appreciate that. Man alive, hope you're well. Somebody said BlackRock and XRP connected. Jeremiah, hope you're doing well, brother. BlackRock is connected to everything. Like if it regards money, institutional, I mean, pretty much everything. You don't think they're getting involved in cross-border payment solutions and on-demand liquidity and all these technologies? Of course they are. Jai Chef said, Jordan, I'm alive. That's good to hear. That's good. That's good. Esme, it's good to hear. Cryptozoology says, Jordan, have you visited Sedona, Arizona? I have, a couple times. Sedona's really beautiful. Sebastian Zitea says, hey Waters, what message would you like us to send to scammers? Pretty sure it wasn't you that messaged me on Discord. Yeah, Sebastian, it's really sad how... So scammers typically find free ways, like free opportunities to be able to get involved in leveraging on artists' communities to be able to infiltrate that community, and that's what they do. It's common. We see it in the YouTube comment section. We see even advertisement videos being created by scammers now. And then with AI and all these bots, it's like gotten even worse. Of course, the comment section is a pretty common place because it's free. And you can make an infinite amount of accounts. Well, it gets worse. People join, not people. I mean, this is like a couple, it's maybe happened 3 or 4 times. But the fact that it's happened 3 to 4 times shows you how thirsty these scammers are. And it could be because they've been successful. Like, that's what it is. Well, there's been 3 to 4 people that have paid And it could be the same person just doing it over and over again. I'm not sure, even though Patreon would flag this, but there are people that sign up to be a paid Patreon supporter and then, yeah, do what they do best, which is be a mosquito. What would I like you to tell those people? I mean, I could see the fun in that. I could see the fun in you going back and forth, but like, there's no point in investing any of your prana into that type of stuff. Like, just make the realization that it's that person's reality tunnel and it's them bankrupting their own soul. And you just keep it moving. Focus on your life. Focus on your purpose. Like, I know sometimes it's fun to mess around with those types of people, but yeah. Just disregard it, you know? But it is pretty whack how that type of person in this world exists. And they've been doing it on my channel since I had, 3,000-4,000 subs. So this has been going on forever. Like, especially as the market gets more bullish, you'll start to see these people show up and it'll get worse, essentially. I also think it's really fun. I have something to say really quickly. This isn't me talking badly about another creator. I don't know this person. I don't know. I mean, I've watched interviews on their channel before, but it wasn't really them I was interested in. It was more their guest. But there's this guy, London Real. I forgot his name, Brian something. And homie literally sent out a crypto course email blast the day Bitcoin hit 40K. Now, last time I checked, this guy's just like an interviewer who talks about business and does like masterminds, I believe. But I'm like, oh shit, we're there. It's like they don't give a fuck about crypto or about teaching you about crypto until it's already bullish. It's like, what is happening? And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's because we're back in a bull run. So once I start seeing some of that shit, I'm like, yes, that's a confirmation. When you see these huge, like what this type of person feels like to me, and then we're going to move on because I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about this type of creator. Is they shift and pivot in whatever direction they need to because of the trend. So when talking about real estate is big, that's what they'll talk about. And then the moment we're back in a bull run, they'll start talking about that. And then the moment there's like a housing crash, they'll start talking about that. Then the moment they're like there's something going on with interest rates, they'll talk about that. But the full-fledged flip into crypto, that's pretty scary stuff. Because these are people that have no idea they can't explain anything that's going on in this market. But yet they're creating whole courses to sell to you after the project goes from 15,000 to 40,000. It's like, were you talking about it when it was 20,000? Were you talking about it at all for the past 2.5 years? But I'm like, damn, that's a good thing. It's a good thing that they don't talk about this stuff. And what I think everyone should realize here is that not only are you early, but you're aware and you're early. Like, pat yourself on the back. You have access to information that maybe no investor in this world really has. And I'm not even saying because of me. I'm not even saying because of me. It's just your consciousness is open enough to accept in a world that's numb, in a world that doesn't have any energy for learning, but they fall for being told to get excited about something after it's already exciting. Just that metric alone makes you an incredibly special being. If you've been following along crypto for the past year, past 2 years, then fuck, you were paying attention to something and getting involved in something when everyone else was asleep at the wheel. It's pretty fucking amazing to think about that. How positioned you are. And I hope that like extinguishes any FOMO that some people might have right now because of whatever random coin is pumping 20% out of nowhere, or any, fear that you could have about some theory that Bitcoin's going to zero or whatever bullshit that people tell you on the other side of things. All right. Sylvia, I appreciate your super chat. Sending you lots of love. Sylvia Samogiova. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that name right, but I appreciate you. You said, hey, Waters, how is it please with path numerology? For example, my mom is born July 2nd, 1957, but the correct is 7/12, 1956. Also, the number in the year changes. Her life number is 4. Thank you. I don't know, because you're giving me 2 separate years. The year is always going to be up in the air, okay? Because you're going to have, like, in Freemasonry, they have their own way of doing the year where, like, they basically add, I think it's like 1001 to the number. And then in Judaism, they reveal their year. This would be 5,784, but even that is off. Also, there's plenty of people that have shown that we're missing, like in any calendrical system, there's going to be missing years. There's going to be sometimes hundreds of years that are inaccurate. So when we're trying to give out the true life path number of somebody, I just think that we have to be flexible here because the year is probably the hardest one. But you gave me 2 separate years, and then that already kind of confuses me. But if you want me to be direct, if they are born on, I think you're writing February 7th, right? Because internationally and I see you're from Europe. In the States, we would call this day July 2nd, but I believe you're sharing the date of February 7th. And if that's the case, then yes, February would be the 12th month in the system. It wouldn't be the 2nd. So yeah, you're definitely more on track. So it would be 7 for the day, 12 for the month, 1956, I suppose. If that's the way that her true birth year is, I just don't know. I don't know why this is adding up this way. It's horrifying. So yeah, I hope this answers your question. That's how you would add it up. So it would become a 4 if she's really born in 56. Appreciate you, Sylvia. Hope you're having an amazing weekend. Ron XRP. When it comes to the volume of my mic and all of that, it's really mixed reviews. Some people are like, I could hear you perfectly. Some people say, I can't hear you at all. I listen back to my videos and I think it sounds perfectly fine. If I put it up to all the way max volume, it's like way too loud. So I know that my mic isn't too hot. There is no perfect way. So what I feel is probably the issue is your headphones or your computer speakers. No offense. I'm not trying to go after you. I'm being honest here. It's most likely your computer speakers or it's your headphones. Because I'm not going to scream into the mic. I just can't. Like, in order for me to do hours of talking, which is every single day of my life, and then to do 2 hours of live stream, and plus I'm just too fucking calm and chill to be speaking any louder. So, yeah. But I appreciate you. Hopefully you could figure out the sound. Joshua Lowe says, your analysis is so helpful and clear. I appreciate you. I try to keep it simple. But I also try to reveal the truth. And unfortunately, sometimes the truth sucks. The truth sets us free, though. And, well, when you're talking about markets, the truth could be a little bit more complex. So I try my best to transmute all the information and make it easily digestible, but more importantly, have utility for you so that you can walk away from watching one of my videos and be able to have some tools that you could apply on your own as a self-reliant investor. El Jefe, I appreciate you. Sending you lots of love. That's a very generous super chat. You said Bull Run Waters next hit 589, baby. Oh, man. I appreciate you. 589, that's a hell of a number. Has anyone done that yet? I don't know if anyone's spoken about this. You know, you hear the 589 often in the XRP community, but if you take 5 times 8 times 9, you get 360. 360 degrees in a circle, in a cycle, in a sickle, in a scythe, in a harvest. So, pretty interesting. 589, what are they trying to tell you? They're trying to tell you full circle, because a water drop that creates a ripple effect is a circle. It's a cycle. Food for thought. Josh Ballinger, I appreciate you too. DD Delicious said, give me 5% from sales. Yeah, I think we can negotiate something. But I do actually think, not the quote at the bottom, of course, we're just having fun, but I do think that would be a cool shirt idea to have the kind of like the truth being whispered to you from the heavens through the firmament, breaking it all open, and then leading to this like flood, this cataclysm. Because I'm actually, I don't want to say a firm believer, but I'm very open-minded to the idea that any cataclysm that happens, like a wipeout on a grand scale, for instance, what we're watching right now in this drone footage, this is a post-cataclysm event realm. You know, this is a space in Utah, which was probably a very sophisticated metropolis, a cityscape with skyscrapers, and it was highly advanced technologically, had a huge population with a high population density, just like you'd have in New York City. And then there was a cataclysm. It wiped it all out. And the remnants of what you're seeing here, this weird kind of orange dusted field of infinity, is what that particular, part of that country is known for. But very few people realize that there's probably a sophisticated city structure and blueprint beneath it. Anywho, that's theoretical, of course, but I know a lot of people here have probably gotten some of the breadcrumbs of that truth in other places and are open-minded enough and have their eyes open enough to just see for themselves that a lot of this landscape looks like melted buildings. But point I'm trying to make is that I do have this intuitive feeling that us as a group of enlightened beings, we cause the cataclysm through our thoughts. And this is why they want everyone to feel depressed. Why they want I shouldn't say that. It's not that they want you to feel depressed. It's that you don't know, not you, of course, but the general human. They don't have the tools and the awareness and realization of this simulation. They don't know that this is a matrix. Yet they live vicariously through video games and vicariously through these things like metaverse and AI and augmented reality and all this stuff. That's kind of what's going on. Those are the types that are going to accept that and utilize it. They're already in a simulation of a simulation with no awareness of the simulation. Like, that's pretty deep. It's like a Russian doll of consciousness. Really quickly, got a super chat from Crypto as a Side Hustle Cash. I appreciate that super chat. I'm sending you lots of love. You said you make sense, sir. Much love and respect for your views and knowledge. That's really funny. Appreciate you. Crypto as a Side Hustle. Sending lots of love. Kiki Peen says, can you remind me of how to clean lymphatic system? It's not so simple. Well, first and foremost, your lymphatic system is your body's dumpster. It's like your body's garbage disposal. And when the garbage disposal is overflowing, usually a team of people come and throw it away, get rid of it. What happens inside of the body is when your garbage disposal, your lymphatic system, is no longer emptying, it will lead to all of this spilling into the bloodstream. So it's already a system that is dirty. It's designed to be able to get rid of it through feces, urine, sweat, and also just through drainage effectively through your kidneys, which would then be urine. I got a super chat from Freedom's Understanding, sending you lots of love. I appreciate you. Appreciate your support. So another way to help with the lymphatic system would be exercise and movement. Consider getting a rebounder. That's one of the easiest ways to do it. Jump rope is great. Also, any sprinting. Not a big fan of long distance running. Cycling would be better. One second. Patrick Starr, dude, it's hilarious. So funny. Yeah, sorry. So just a quick recap with the lymphatic system is movement and fasting and could consider heat exposure and cold exposure too. Those are probably the three simplified solutions. Movement's probably the most powerful though. With regards to if your diet is already clean. But like if you have a really clean diet and you're sedentary and you don't get any heat exposure or any cold exposure, then the missing link would most likely be movement. Because the thing about movement is your body's going to start to sweat. It's pushing out toxins. Elizabeth Louise said logo is blocking sky mouth. I like that. Sky mouth. Dustin said Mitch McConnell below listening. Cryptozoology, I appreciate you. Yeah, Sarah Lynn said no edits on the drawing. No, it isn't, yeah. Max or Power, I appreciate you. Decode Your Reality, I hope you're doing amazing, brother. It's great to have you here with us. Hope you're having an amazing Saturn day. Someone's asking me to watch the GTA 6 trailer. I would, but like every time I load up a video, especially something like that, it triggers some copyright nonsense and then the stream gets taken down. So yeah, I have to refrain from doing stuff like that. Hobby time with Chris, appreciate you. Chosen One, I appreciate the super. Hope you're having an amazing weekend. Tarzanagram, appreciate the support. You said a man walks into the bar with a giraffe. The barman says, "You can't leave that lying here." The man says, "That's not a lion." That's a giraffe. I appreciate you. I hope you're having an amazing weekend. Today's live stream is sponsored by giraffes. It's funded by the Giraffe Organization. Oh, look at this guy. Oh yeah, have you ever watched videos of giraffes fighting each other? It's the most entertaining thing you'll ever see. They're just necking each other. Just swinging necks. That fucking neck roundhouse kick, you know? Oh, look at how goofy he is. Look at this goofy. Like, for real though, what part of the video game created this player character called the giraffe? We're definitely in a simulation. One Punch Mosquito Slayer. I appreciate your super chat. He said, "I don't drink water, but when I do, I drink only coconut water. Much love, everyone." Well, that's dope. You rolling, homie. You rolling. Drinking that coconut water. Stay hydrated. That's the Waters Above merch that needs to be made next. I'm not a big merch guy. You guys know I only did 2 releases in 3 years. So when I do it, it's because it has a very intentional design that I created. But stay hydrated would be a pretty dope. Dr. Kimberly Joseph, I hope you're having an amazing day. Chosen One, I appreciate your super chat. You said I was robbed 2 days ago near my home. Really concerned. Where are you living? You know, like, it is some situations, you know, some neighborhoods, some cities, they're just so low frequency. You never know what the hell's going to happen. You know, you could be minding your own business, doing your own thing, and it's just, yeah. But I didn't get much from what you shared, what you wrote. You just said that you were robbed. But you're safe, I'm assuming. If you're hanging out with us here, you're not in the hospital. So I'm going to go ahead and make some assumptions. So don't take this personally. But if you're not hurt and no one was hurt, and maybe all that was taken from you was a watch or some dollars, right? I just want you to remember that if it costs dollars, it's cheap. And if somebody thinks they're taking something that's valuable away from you, what's more important is what value do you believe it has? And when you start reevaluating what you think the things in your life that have value are, and you start placing that value into stuff that doesn't cost dollars, your life's gonna change. Because then it's gonna get to a point where people could take all these so-called possessions from you, but you'll still feel like you have everything you need. So I understand if it's your safety that you're worried about. I get that. But if somebody took some dollars from you, or a watch or chain, or what they really did is they robbed themselves. That's just the way this goes. But remind yourself, if it costs dollars, it's cheap. El Jefe says, how about good old Jamie Dimon, hypocrite and confirmation all in one? El Jefe, what's going on with Jamie Dimon? I heard something a couple days ago, maybe last week-ish, when Bitcoin was like getting into the $40,000 territory for the first time in a while. And was he testifying with Congress or something? I don't remember the specifics, but Jamie Dimon was saying some negative stuff about crypto, right? Or Bitcoin. Yo, that guy's class act. You know, can we just admit, these banksters, they're a class act. We need them. We need them. Like, I want every day for Warren Buffett to come out and call Bitcoin rat poison or XRP toilet paper or whatever these guys think. I love it. Keep it going. The more scared retail is, the more retail waits and waits and waits. And then the institutional money starts pushing it forward. The ball gets rolling. This avalanche continues. The snowball grows. And then all of those retail FOMO in at the top. And then you're selling your bags to them. Rinse, repeat. The only people that fall for this stuff that Jamie Dimon has to say are the same people that are going to wait and wait and wait till some influencer on you know, Twitch tells them, buy Shiba Inu. It's kind of the way it works. We've been there before. So it's good. LMS said that London Real Guys has been in crypto courses for a couple of years, I think. Yep. LMS, I was subscribed on an old email account to them because I wanted to watch the first David Icke interview that he did. It was like pretty much during C19, right? I've never ever received any crypto course anything from this man the whole time. It's actually very infrequent that I receive any emails. And I know for a fact I haven't gotten any in the past year. So I just find it pretty interesting that like the second Bitcoin hit 40K, I received this email about some crypto accelerator program. So maybe he has in the past, but I haven't been receiving it. And it's on a personal email of mine, so I know everything that comes in. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. But I think the bigger point that was made here is that I get this sense that London Real isn't coming out at least once a month and talking about the market. Maybe he is. I'm not sure. Anyways, I don't even give a fuck what these people are up to. It's irrelevant. I probably shouldn't even talk about I already don't talk about anyone. Barely. And when I do, I try to clearly delineate my stance on it all. As a spiritual being, in the year of 2024, and it should be enacted as soon as possible, we're basically there. I don't want to put anyone else's name in my mouth. It's just doesn't serve me any longer. It's something I'm working on. Unless I have some love and appreciation and you know, if I have none of that, then why even speak? If it's not in collaboration, there should be no words said. It's just how I want to roll. You guys know me, though. I almost never talk about anyone, and whenever I do, I try to be very clear about my stance on it. I usually say I don't know the person. I believe I also said that with this London Real situation. And if I do know the person, then I could share my thoughts. Then I could go into specifics. I, as being in my position, just worry sometimes that good people who mean well get sucked into this nonsense at the worst times because people who only are here to make money off of people sell the trend when the trend is sexy. That's what I personally don't like. Am I calling London Real out for that? No, I don't know what his intentions are. But when I'm seeing people that are silent about crypto in a bear market now have the biggest megaphone on earth when we start to get bullish again, I could kind of sense their intentions. And that's not honorable. Truth prevails. David Wallachuk, I appreciate you, brother. Sending you lots of love. And I appreciate you from being there from the start. It's beautiful to still be doing these lives every week and have people that were in our first couple live streams still hanging out with us. It's beautiful. Titanium Shakespeare, I really appreciate you. Peter McCardle, absolutely. I can't deny that at all. What you just said, truth. You said in all fairness, Brian Rose fought the YouTube censors and he was one has been very outspoken. Absolutely. That was what I wanted from, that was what I came to that channel for. You feel me? But it's like, why do I have a car salesman trying to sell me a lawnmower? Why is the Michelin star chef trying to teach me how to sail? Why is the car mechanic trying to tell me how to build a fucking house? You see? Is it because houses are sexy to build right now? Like, I get it. Like, crypto has this ability to suck people in because it has all of this hype. It's dramatic. It's like a degen casino. But my thing is, like, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Like, if you're a banker who knows all about the traditional financial system and you're like a mortgages guy and whatever, and you talk about that 99% of the time, but then at the peak of a bull run want to start talking about fucking Monero, it's just like, come on. Everyone should see through that. Stay in your lane. It's admirable when people also just admit that there's a specialist out there that they could leverage on. Like, I can see through all of these people, man. I know what they're doing. They're hiring a whole team of people who are specialists. They're hiring this team of people. They're writing up reports for them, and then they sit in front of a fucking camera with the script and act like they're the specialist. We've been through this so many times, in so many ways. It's fucking hypnotism. It's like religion. It's just scripture. You could always tell who really knows about something and who's kind of just pretending for the moment. But yes, the world needs somebody to talk all day about the V word. All right, we're moving on. Got about 755 light beings in the Matrix. Jihad Zatar said, "Been following you for so many years. I finally bought your course and I feel sick that I didn't buy it sooner. Amazing content, brother." I appreciate you, bro. It's all love. You know what I always say? You make your decisions when you need to make them. No looking back. It's all divine timing. And I'm very grateful for you. I'm grateful for your support. Hobby Time with Chris said, "Waters Above might actually have the best audio of everyone I watch." You know, Chris, I actually have heard that a lot. I've had so many people reach out and say that the audio quality is really good. So that's why I know that it's not my mic. Like, it's not me. There's something going on with people's computers or headphones or whatever, or just your hearing, which is fine. You guys, you want to know something, though, that could be very helpful? I'm not, by the way, if it's hard for you to hear anything right now that I'm doing, I'm not trying to call you out. It's just like, this is serious words of wisdom. You can go to an ear doctor and you could just have them check. And believe it or not, most people have a ton of wax in their ears. Like, so much. You know how many, I know this because I've worked with people that are in the music industry, and I have a lot of friends that are in that industry where, well, not a lot of friends, but I have enough friends now to have seen that it's a theme that they have where an ear gets blocked up because maybe they're just in general don't have whatever's going on. I'm not sure. Excessive mucus. There's so many reasons. Some people generate more wax than others, but yeah, you'd probably be surprised. Some people think that like everything's all good in the hood, but under the hood, yeah. Jokes aside, go check that out. If you're somebody who has any issues with hearing, you'd be fucking surprised. And if they take the wax out, if they remove it, which you can do it with like a saline solution and something, I forgot the exact earwax remover. There's probably a more healthy home remedy for this. I don't recommend ear candling. That doesn't help. Some people fuck that up and then it's a crisis. So I would say it's actually easier to do it the way where it's just like a light saline solution in the ear. Lay on your side, and then you have this like pump thing, and you slosh it in your ears pretty hard, and then it'll loosen up. But like you can go to urgent care and you could pay, I don't know, like without insurance, depending on where you live, or some of you live in countries where you probably don't have to pay for this shit. You know, it's covered. Almost everyone should do this, by the way, because it unclogs an area that mucus is trying to get out, right? From a health perspective. But yeah, if I'm having 100 people say that the audio sounds perfect, some people saying it's the best audio they've heard, and then I have like 2 or 3 people being like, I can't hear you, it's like, yeah, it's probably your ears. The Sharps says, what do you plan to do when you take profit and exit, Jordan? You know, I don't want to get too detailed, and I'm a big fan of manifestation through just embodying what it is that you're going to bring to this realm, and a sense of knowing in that process. But I would love to make some sort of retreat center / just hangout spot that could be a venue to invite artists and creatives and have it be like a creative artistic center, and something where the food is catered to the style of food that, you know, we talk about here, and to do events often, and maybe even have it be like something that could be bigger than that, like something that could expand from there. That's a vision that I have. And I don't want to call it like a hotel or any of that, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be cool to have it be some sort of space. And yeah, that's going to take time though. That's going to take time And that's something that maybe in a year I would start looking for partners to do it with. Obviously, this is going to require a lot of money, like an unbelievable sum of money to do it the way that I would want to do it. Yeah, but that's my vision. It's something that includes people. And a big piece of that vision would have to be some land, like farming opportunity. So that was the initial thing that I was really kind of keeping in mind, is some plot of land where we could have animals there that are living wild in their own, habitat, in their own ecosystem, if you will. But then it would have an orchard, and yeah, I have so many things in my mind that I want to bring to this reality, that I will bring to this reality, but baby steps. I'm in my phase right now of getting all of what's on my mind out there. That's really like this phase, this chapter of my experience called reality is about right now. Psy X, I appreciate you. Sending lots of love. It's great to have you here with us. Take Control says, Waters, what food rises vibration the most? No food. Not consuming for 24 hours to 2 days to 3 days to 4 days, and you're going to start to feel that access to different frequencies, maybe for the first time in your life. See, food slows you down. Food bogs you down. Food lowers your vibration. Anyways, if you want to keep this to food, like what you masticate and chew and digest, it would be fruit. But if I had to speak the truth of truths, it's just no food. Let's Go Rodriguez says, how is this proven in terms of these mountains that you're speaking of, just like a religion? Let's Go Rodriguez, there is so many places all over the realm that if you were to see it look like this and start to excavate it, you will find architecture under it. So plenty of places in Turkey, plenty of places in Brazil. There's one of the most famous churches of all time in Ethiopia. Lots of stuff going on in the country of Jordan. There's, oh my goodness, so much in China. So it's by no means a religion. It's not about me proving it. It's about you going out of your way to research and study this. I'm not here to tell you your truth. But my process that I did was I questioned the narrative. I looked around with my own eyes and I said, this doesn't add up the way I was told. And that curiosity led me to where I am today. Although I don't get too much value from that stuff, what it allows me to do and allows me to explore is the work that I do today, which has a lot to do with mindset, has a lot to do with looking at this reality from a perspective where we can stay neutral, but also stay abundant and also stay aware in the knowing and not controlled by the knowing, because that's a slippery slope and that's a very popular thing too. How many of us learn about truth and then we get more angry, we get more fearful, we get more offended, we get more sensitive, we get into more arguments, we get into this tug of war with everyone about what's right and wrong. We always got something to prove. Little did you know, you thought the truth was setting you free, but all it did was expanded your ego. So I venture everyone to question thy realm, But don't take it too seriously. It's just fun. What's religion is when we go into it told something and we take it at face value and we believe it as it was told to us with no critical thinking. That's called the damaged ego. That's when the ego is dead, contrary to popular belief. People think that the ego death is good and needed, especially the spiritual community that focuses a lot on Eastern spiritualism, and I think the opposite. Again, everything that's popular is wrong. But I want you to look at this fucking structure we're looking at right now and see how isolated it is in this huge valley of nothingness with no geothermal activity at all going on underneath. This is not a volcanic event. These random structures that are placed the way they are, those are buildings. You can see them buried in dirt below. The dirt being a completely different quality of soil, of mineral, than the structure itself. The color, everything about it, completely different. This was a city, metropolis, and it was rained on with clay, dirt, mineral dust. Clear cut. Color completely different than what surrounds it. Max Hart, share win. Hope you're doing well. Oh, Sylvia said, thank you. I appreciate your super chat. You said, thank you. She is born February 7th, 1957. I have heard you. The months are not correct. Was not sure if the year 1957 also moves to 1956 when the month changes from 2 to 12. Hope it makes sense. Oh, yeah, you know, that's a... Oh, damn, Sylvia. We would have to go back so, like, because, yeah, that would start to really complicate things. Here's the thing, Sylvia. Date numerology is awesome. Like, it's really fun. I think that now with my bigger platform, I've given you all some of the tools to question the dates and the calendar that we all utilize. And it happened by mistake, really. I didn't have any intention of that being a disruptor, but it was. And that's a beautiful thing because all disruptors are here for a reason. We serve our purpose. But I could sense now that people have had this information where they're like, well, December is the 10th month, so now I have to add up the birthday. And yeah, and then it's like it becomes this thing where like, I think this is all off because my truth is that the new year starts with Pisces whenever we have a transition into the spring equinox. Now that's a lot for people. Because now we can't have a standard calendrical system anymore. Every year would now be changing, just like we see in the Hebrew calendar and many other calendars. So if we're used to utilizing Gregorian system, and we start to consider what I just said a moment ago, like think about when the sun actually moves into Pisces. That would make the most sense of when we are in the last month and the first month, because that's what Pisces is in a deeper, more esoteric perspective. It's beginnings and ends. It's what was below will become the top. What was last becomes first. So you could consider as the sun moves into Pisces is the end and the start. Just like we have this clear delineation between what we call New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. 24 hours ago, it was 2023. Now, right now, it's 2024. You see what I mean? It should have never been so black and white, but the Gregorian system was designed to take away nature. It was designed to be anti-nature. I hope this makes sense. Michka says, if animals release adrenochrome, do plants, fruits, vegetables do something similar? Adrenochrome being talked about in my work, the way that I have regarding animals, is just to expose the inconsistencies that flesh eaters have. As for going into if plants have feelings and plants have the same, well, I mean, it's obvious they don't. I think you ask a good question, but there is going to be someone out there in the comments, I could just smell it now, where they're like, well, they've done tests and they could see that when you pluck the flower out of the ground that it doesn't want to be. Like you interviewed it. Like you got on the interview with the rose and you were like, Rose, is it cool if I take you out of the ground right now so I could give you to my girlfriend on Valentine's Day? And then the rose says, no, don't do that. Like, I mean, watch a video of cattle being prodded in the skull with a bolt gun, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. So whatever instrumentation that scientism needed to create to be able to see the fear response of a blade of grass, I mean, if that's how we want to start valuing life and valuing how we consume things, then shit, good luck. It's going to be a hard ride. But yeah, I wouldn't get too burdened by these sorts of things because they're common sense. Obviously, no, a plant does not have it doesn't have adrenaline glands. It doesn't have a pituitary gland. It doesn't have a thyroid gland. So, yeah, animals have a complex glandular system just like a human being has. They cry just like us. They try to survive just like us. I understand that plants have their own survival mechanisms that they try to utilize, but anyways. Adam Arias, I appreciate you. You said, sending you much love this holiday, the Arias family. P.S. Sarah noticed the tips. Oops, I missed your super chat. This is going too quickly. But Adam, I appreciate you. If you can just recopy your super chat, I will be able to respond back. But if not, if you don't hear this because you signed out, sending you lots of love, you and your family, and the holiday season ahead. Appreciate you. Lots of love. But yeah, I hope that I was able to respond to Michka in a way that they realized that I'm not trying to be trollish or anything of that nature. I just know when I talk about some of these types of things, there's going to be the responses from the people that are like pro flesh eater, and they're going to want to say their piece. And it just lowers the vibe of the whole conversation. So I really don't want to go there. You know, after 3 years of doing this almost every single weekend, 2 to 3 hours every weekend, you start to predict things, the way people react and respond. Hardware says Emoto did good work showing water has memory. Yeah, water is programmable. Water has consciousness, for sure. Dave Lewis, you said, would you be willing to play your music for us? I don't know. I'm working on an album. Shout out to Ian Ludlow. I'm not sure if he's listening in. But I'm working on some music. He's helping me co-produce it. It will be. Trust. And it's going to be a lot. It's going to be like at least a half an hour. With this type of music I'm working on, it's going to be a piece of art. Peter McCardle says, thoughts on Trump indictments? No. Peter, when it comes to the whole politics thing, I just look at it all like it's a huge distraction. Yeah, I got to be completely honest with you. It's all just sucking away my attention from stuff that serves me in a much more useful way. So, I'm not telling people that you should just be aloof, but like sometimes being Patrick Starr is very helpful. Because I've been out of those conversations about what's going on in politics, what's going on with, Biden and all of that stuff. I've been out of it now for years. And the more I mute that noise, the more signal comes into my purpose. I hope that resonates with you. And also, I'm spiritually preparing myself for the election year, where I know all people are going to want to talk about is that. George B., I appreciate you. You said, how does the law of attraction work in a simulation? Is it half and half free will of destiny? What's your opinion? My truth is that free will is when we make our mistakes. Everything is coded. We just either have or do not have the ability to comprehend its code. As we allow more, which is what I call love, as we allow more, we let go of this control and we allow flow to re-enter. It transforms anything in this physical realm as you know it, and it starts setting you up in the direction that you were destined to go. I understand that destiny becomes part of this conversation. My methods over the past, since I could remember, was to take any popular idea and challenge it and challenge it and challenge it until it was dust falling through my fingertips. So if there's anyone who's done the work on trying to figure out what's the flaw or what's the missing piece of the puzzle to an idea that most accept or believe in, it's me. And now, with the way that my life has been going since I've been a professional decoder, I can tell without any doubt that everything is happening by a code of numbers. It's not that it's good or bad either. There is no good number, there's no bad number. That doesn't exist. It's that there is a number code tied to everything that's happening. Problem with all of this is that nature doesn't really have any full integers. Like when you look at the ocean, you don't say there's 2,757,700. You don't say how many waves there are. You say there's waves. I hope this resonates. So there is a code behind something, but as spirit, which is what you are, as soul, it's infinity. So there's two simultaneous realizations that needs to be made, and then also you need to find common ground between the two and stop wanting or desiring there to be a reason why things work out or don't work out. John Snow, I appreciate your super chat. You said thanks a lot for all your wisdoms and skills. Really appreciate you. I appreciate you. Sending you lots of love. I hope you're having a beautiful weekend. That's actually one of the things to say regarding our family chosen one who was talking about being robbed. The reason I was able to respond to this person the way I did was because I realized that wisdom and skills are something that can never be taken away from you. So we should invest our prana into skills and wisdom, not information. Information doesn't serve you. Information could actually be distracting you and holding you back from making decisions. Too much analysis is what gets you from taking action. You have to start moving from your heart and less from your mind. Sean Crothers, your mother had some wisdom to share. I hope you've been embodying that wisdom since. Ferry, I appreciate you. Hardware says, sadly, some people say unconditional love doesn't exist. Well, let's just put it like this. All love does have conditions, because in this physical sense, in the physical realm, there's conditions, there are limitations. And we like to say that we have unconditional love for stuff, but I don't really see it in practice. It's hard to practice it. Like, it's a cute theory, and it's something we can strive for. So when you're hearing on this channel us talk about the concept of unconditional love, we at least have the awareness that although it is literally impossible, it's something we could strive for. And we must embody unconditional love without being weak. Without being weak. Don't let anyone in this world, don't take shit from anyone. Okay? So don't confuse this unconditional love thing with having no boundaries. But still be aware that you are protected, and that the only time you are unsafe is when you start to think yourself into being unsafe. You are now operating at a frequency of fear, therefore fear comes to you. But an agent is going to come in once in a while. An agent is going to step in. Protect yourself. Fly Kiwi says, Brian Rose is a businessman after all. Of course he wants his website. You can't blame him for that. It was never my point. My point is, it's simple, okay? This is my point. If I sell cars and I look over and I'm seeing that lawnmowers are selling like hotcakes, and I myself do not know shit about lawnmowers, and then I start selling lawnmowers, you see, I don't even have to say anything else. Like, I think we get where I'm when the chef is trying to sell me on the best toilet to buy, and why I need it now, because it's a bull run. You see? It's like, where was homie at in the bear market? Nobody's faulting anyone for wanting to try to be compensated for their truth. Was never the point, was never the intention. I could give a fuck if somebody who's a car salesman wants to sell lawnmowers. My point here is that I would hope that by the next bull run, more people could become conscious to the fact that that guy is a fucking charlatan. That was really my point. Keep selling cars, stay in your lane, stop going for money grabs whenever something's sexy. You're not honorable. You're just not an honorable person if you do that. And that honor is important because that's spirit level. So sure, he might be able to make a quick buck here and there. But it's a one-hit wonder at best. And that's what a lot of people are turning this crypto market into. People are turning this whole crypto market into something where look at it now when it's exciting and then turn away when it's boring. And then the people that are new to this, that are getting sucked in, are looking back when these things were 500% cheaper, and then they're saying the same thing every time. They're saying, I wish I bought then. And then there's people who even pay attention to this stuff that continue to follow along with it, but they never want to take action when it's low, because those same talking heads have now shifted away from covering that thing to go cover the other thing. It's not honorable. That's called selling your soul. It's fake. Bella Love, I appreciate you. Albert Savopulo, my day is amazing. Any day I get to connect and have this opportunity to communicate with so many of you is a beautiful day. Two trades, water, take the W, flip it around, you have matter, that's physical. Were you walking on water or were you walking on matter? Mater, mother, Virgin Mary, Virgo, Isis, Isus. Speak it out. Turning water into wine. Or turning matter into mine. The world is yours, as Nas says. Utility maximalist, I appreciate you. That means a lot. Steven Segura says ear candles are a scam. Yeah, Steven, I mean, I myself have only had negative experiences working with people like who talk about those. And yeah. So I'm right there with you, brother. I mean, there's a better way. Hardware says you could go to the hospital and they'll spoon it out. That sounds so funny. Come on. Yeah, Jebekin. I don't know how to say her name. Yeah. I mean, you could go to urgent care. Like, urgent care, it's probably just some peroxide they throw in. Yeah. Okay, so Edie Woodman. Yeah, that's it. Peroxide and salt water. Exactly what was on my mind. Karen, Ashley, try that. See, this is why you guys are dope. It's like you already have it. You already have it. Sarah Arias, I appreciate you for being here in this YouTube membership, and you are orange pilled. Lolo Blondo. You know, I kind of like Scottish accents. I think Scottish people, the ones that I can understand, of course, no offense. But me and Scottish people have always gotten along really well. I don't know if I could drink as much as them, but I could try. But Scotch is like one of my favorite beverages of choice when I'm on the, on the other side of the pH scale. But yeah, Lola Blondo, if you have any good Scotch recommendations, let me know. Armand Hule, sending you lots of love. I appreciate you. Dietary car. No, we will not be doing any of that. We will not be doing that. Mr. 11th, you said you want to do a Kundalini Yoga Center. That's beautiful. Then you should do that. You should do exactly what it is that you envision. Sammy G says sounds perfect. Yeah, I wouldn't want it to be I'll just be super direct with everyone here, and it's not me judging or shutting down what some people's version of fun is. But the thing that I'm going to build is not going to be this like hippy dippy new agey glow sticks and fucking hula hoops. And it's not going to be like that, it's not going to be that's not my vibe, not that I'm against that stuff. It's like, if that's what you're into, then that's dope, right? It's just not what I am personally into. Not that it has to be all about me, by the way, too. Like, I'm just looking to build this, and I want to invite artists into it. And if it has the essence of that sometimes, then cool. But I don't want it to be this thing where, like, it's only for that type of person, right? Like, I don't want that. Because that, for me, is kind of a turnoff. Like, when all the shit that I see at, like, Burning Man and stuff, like, I'm allergic to that, honestly. That is so materialistic looking to me. And it's funny how that stuff could be considered spiritual, but like, you're clearly in love with this Matrix if you're dressing up like a Halloween character. Right? Like, but again, if that's something that you're into, then dope, like, cool, embrace that. But for the thing that I envision, I want it to be authentic. It's not going to be a healing center. It's not going to be like, it's going to be just a place where you go and unwind, maybe 3 or 4 days. You have all the amenities of something that'll provide you with a sense of comfort and like all the things that we talk about here. Like I would love to have sauna and cold plunges and all different types of saunas and different types of baths with different, you know, purposes. Aromatherapy, different spaces with different lights in them for that. Just balancing out. Amazing food and just good vibes. Dustin said Ashgabat would be a great creative hub. But Dustin, did you know that there's no internet in Ashgabat? Or in, I don't know if it's just that city or if it's the entire Turkmenistan. Pretty crazy, right? So if Waters Above goes to if you don't hear from me for at least a week, it's because I'm in Ashgabat. David Sells. That's really cool to know that you're a farmer and you're here in our community. Like, it's great. See, the one thing that I would like to do is with the farming thing, I would like to have people who are aware of biodynamic farming. I would like to have winemakers. I would like to have people that know how to specialize in particular things that could be used and to do it excellently. So to not have beer that's like bought from outside, like to make our own, to make everything as much as possible. That way it's giving all the people that are passionate about that particular art form the opportunity to share their art in this space. I don't want to say it's creating jobs. I don't want to look at it from that way. Like, I wouldn't want the farm aspect of it to have to be so monetarily driven. You know, like I would want everything that's going on to just support what it is that's being used at that retreat center. That's kind of the purpose of it. Brookfield Brothers, you have 160 acres? Woo! Sarah, Arias, I appreciate you. You said much love, Jordan. The Arias family love spending time with you. This is a test to see if you see this. Adam had sent you a super chat asking something. Did you see it? Sarah, I apologize deeply. I did respond back, but I missed it because the speed of the chat was moving so quickly that it cleared from the chat log. So if any of you want to repost it, but you don't need to do a super chat, please. You guys are already like, you're really supportive of my art, and I don't want, you know, I appreciate you, seriously. Just at Waters Above, and then I'll highlight my name, and then if I see it from you or Adam, what Adam wrote earlier, that way I'll be able to see it before we finish off today's live stream. Don't worry. But yes, I saw this one, so it's all working. Appreciate you. Somebody asks, what's my vision for the world in 2040? I gotta admit, I just don't really, I don't really care, you know? Like, we're in 2024 right now, basically. Like, I'm trying to fall in love with the now. I mean, I know that's not sexy to hear, but we're here, man. Like, we squander so much energy thinking about some arbitrary year that's on the horizon, and it's like, you want to know something funny? Like, we'll have fun for a second. I bet if we had a time machine, we had a way of like going back to when our grandparents were alive, and we just like eavesdropped in their conversations. I bet you when they like invented the telephone or they invented the fucking microwave or any of that stuff, I bet they were like, there was people who were like country bumpkins who were like, the world's going to shit, Mary. These kids and their telephones and motorbikes. Like, they're just doing the same thing. When we came out with credit cards and cell phones, people initially were like fucking wigging out about it. We didn't really think of it as convenient initially. We always had some conspiracy reaction to it. Like, we always had some pause and insert the world's going to shit because of some advancement that's happening. I can almost guarantee it. I could almost guarantee it because I've had these conversations before with people. And every year that goes by, we're like, this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year. This is going to be the year. And then you find out about some other truther community and you're like, this is going to be the year. I mean, just in the past 3 years that I've been doing what I'm doing, I had to like swat off a bajillion mosquitoes from people that would say, this person said this and it's not the same thing that you were saying. And I'm like, what does that even matter? Like, that'd be like going up to Raphael and being like, Da Vinci doesn't believe that you should be sculpting like that. It's like, who the fuck cares? I'm my own artist. Like, I'm doing my own thing. And what I want to do, and I'm speaking for myself right now, the mission statement of Waters Above is to not even have this be about me. It's to have it be about you. I want everyone to get to that place where they're no longer concerned of anybody's forecast of some fearful fucking event, an apocalypse and cataclysm of some arbitrary year because of whatever mathematical equation this person has to sell onto you. All we have is now. Everything else is an illusion. So we have fun here quite often talking about forecasting. But you notice that my time horizons on things have started to get closer and closer to here. That's been pretty much the way. We're dancing here. We're dancing. This isn't a sword fight. But I can't name you the amount of times in 2020 and 2021 when I had personal conversations with people saying, this is probably a good time to make some investments, like saying it was the same conversation at the end of 2022. It's probably a good time to have, but isn't Bitcoin a scam? Isn't this the thing? Like, isn't the market going to crash more? Isn't the housing going to do the thing, the blue-diddy-blue? It never fucking happens. And the reason it doesn't happen is because it doesn't go the way you want it to anyways. And most of the time, not you guys, but just in general, humans are attracted to something that fits in their fear profile. It vibrationally aligns with what it is that you're already scared of. When you raise your frequency, that stuff doesn't even have any signal anymore. It's like when you're tuning radio stations, it became staticky to you. So I could talk about my theories of 2030 and 2040 and 2050 and this 2400, but it's like I kind of want all of us to move away from that so we could be here. Like, this is the only place you can unlock wisdom and gnosis. Like, feel into this. Feel into this moment. It is a good question. I know that it means well. I get it every day. I just really don't think that it's going to do too much for us, truthfully. Aaron, regarding your question of distilled water versus reverse osmosis, I would like you to consider, if you have a water distiller, and see, you could purchase a water distiller, and then you could also have this reverse osmosis system simultaneously, because some people that spend the natural kind of way that it's all gone, they've went from like a basic water filter pitcher in their home to then purifying the whole system of their house to then changing it to reverse osmosis to then changing it to some Kengan thing. And then finally they get to a water distiller. Here's the thing. I want you to run any type of water, including the reverse osmosis filtered water, into that water distiller. Run 3 cycles. So if you have like a gallon water distiller, run 3 gallons of that reverse osmosis water through that water distiller, and then look at the bottom of the water distiller after you do that. Do you have sediment? Is there gook? Well, if there is, then that answers your question. See, all of that sediment that's in your water, your body doesn't know what to do with. So it stores it in your kidneys. This is inorganic minerals that can't go anywhere. And since the last time I did the live stream, I had people saying, he's wrong about water distillers. It leaches minerals from your body. Here's the thing. It does. It does remove minerals from your body. You want to know what minerals it removes? Sand, dirt, dust, and debris. It removes the shit from your body that your body can't use. Okay? It is cleaning you. Also, it's not even my preferred waters. My preferred waters would be nature's water, which would be coconut water and fruit. This way you get minerals, but they are organic minerals. This will interstitially hydrate you and also clean out this exogenous, excessive buildup of sand, dirt, debris, dust. When you use a water distiller a couple of times, you will see what I'm talking about at the bottom of the distiller. If you want to run 5, 6, 7 gallons of water, you will just see more and more buildup. That is what's in your water. Your kidneys freak the fuck out when that stuff goes inside them. This is damaging your entire body, cellularly. And most of these water systems cost 10, 20, 30 times more than a simple water distiller. Distillation is a natural process. I understand that a water distiller is a technology, but generally, and the truth of truths, is that everything in nature distills waters. The hydrological cycle, rain. Inside of your mother's womb, while she's growing you, that's a distillation system. Urine, semen, blood, lymphatic fluid, it's all distillation. Your body is literally a walking, talking water distiller. This is actually why urine is some of the cleanest water, and it is your water. It's the water you make. And I know this goes down a different topic through a different subject matter. But if there was any water that was designed for you, it would be your own. Then if you had to rank them, which is extremely egoic, but I'll just do it for the sake of it, it would be your water is number one always. Perfect temperature of your body. It's not waste. It's not a waste product. Your body is a water distiller. It is purifying it all. What's dirty and disgusting and unclean is the sediment that's left over in your body. It's the stuff that's making your blood toxic. Your body is fucking perfect for the most part. It's a perfect system. We damage it with the way we consume. I'm not here to say that your reverse osmosis water system is bad. I'm not here to say whatever fancy pants system you've put into your house is the wrong one. What I am saying is that the human body is not designed to consume water that is not distilled, because the body is a water distiller and nature is a water distiller. And you are a product of that. And unfortunately, the human body doesn't have any ability to fully get rid of the dirt, the rocks, the dust that goes inside of you. And by the way, this can get in you just by being a coal miner or somebody that lives in the desert and you go hiking often. Or if you're somebody who works, a woodworker, and you don't wear a mask when you're working, or you're somebody that works as a painter. This stuff can get inside of your nose, your eyes, of course it can. But the easiest way for it to get in you is through the water. Tap water is a scam. Bottled water is a scam. All water filters are a scam. The reason why a water filter would be useful is if you literally need to. Otherwise, that particular water you're drinking would be undrinkable. But if you have the option, you should always go with distilled. And yes, it is removing minerals from the body, but it's removing the ones that you want being removed from your body because they were never supposed to even be in there in the first place. Somebody please clip this and post it somewhere on the internet because I kind of don't want to talk about it anymore. I teach it. I've been talking about it for so long. And I know that the debates are going to show up from the woodwork, but I feel this was probably the most comprehensive response I've ever given on the matter. And it could be extremely helpful and useful. All right, family, when did we get going? Started at, all right. Keep an eye on the time. Gabrielle Spots, I appreciate your super chat. You said, I really resonate with the center you spoke of. I've had similar visions of a place like this, specifically the Orchard. I'm in Utah and own a metal fabrication business and would love to invest and help birth this space. Gabriel, don't reach out to me now, but when I'm ready, I will share all of this again and then we will connect. I'm just being transparent right now because I have way too much on my plate. Let's get through this bull run. I put it out there in the ether, right? Like by me sharing this on a live stream, which will be listened to at least 15,000 times. Typically there's about like 12 to 20,000 views these get. And just live here today, 700 people tuning in with us most of the time. A lot of people have just been given this idea, you know, And that's the birth of it. And I want to make it, it will come to life. And everyone that resonates with it, you know, that's a beautiful thing. But I want to take things one step at a time. Let's get through this. We've built the idea. Next would be building the physical space. It will come to life. But I definitely just want to prevent myself from being distracted right now, because I know that when I say things like I'm just going to be honest, family. Remember when I made the joke about Waters Above Airport? Like, I made the joke because it was during C19 and we were like all locked down and we couldn't travel. Some of you maybe remember. So I made this joke and I was like, yo, we should just open up our own airport and we'll be doing private flights on our own. And it'll be like a conscious, like a conscious airport. And I swear to you, I had like 10 pilots reach out to me after I did that. And it made me feel incredibly blessed that even at the time when the channel was much smaller, like we had these people with these skills that were also in alignment with the same bullshit we were calling out, like the same things that bothered us about this matrix, these pilots were in alignment with. And I'm like, yo, we have 10 homies. Like, if we had capital, we could do this. Like, why pay all of our money to these airlines if we can, like, and I'm like, that's the vision. That's what we need to build. That's all of those ideas we need to bring to life. So, I mean, if I was to start talking about this stuff about building this retreat center now, I tune into my emails, and if I'm saying I want to do it now, I would be bombarded. Because that's how many people want to make something like this come to life, which is so beautiful. It's literally like the coolest shit ever, that so many of us would want to do something like this. So, dope. I'm glad already people are interested. I'm glad that people would want to invest in it. I'm glad that people would want to be a part of it in any capacity. We put out the idea. It'll happen. Can't confirm when it'll go down, but I want it to. Want's not even the good word. Will. XR Peaky Blinder. I love your name. I appreciate you, brother. You said all kinds of plants being interviewed on the Television Media Box Daily. Thanks, Jay. Got in Discord today. Andrew. Dope. Welcome to the community. It's so great to have you with us. It's great to have, I'm thinking lately how just within our community alone, like tapping into the skills and the awareness and everything that's going on there, just that, if it could be converted into something in real life, could be a game changer. It's not right to say in real life as if this isn't a form of communication that's true, but you guys know what I mean. Max Hart Share Win. You said, where can we stream your music? When I release my music, it will not be on streaming platforms. But I will share that when it's ready. Wego says, Waters, are you doing psychedelic rock? No. I mean, I'm into a lot of that stuff for sure. Somebody says the last Boy Scout says, if your music really takes off, would you consider touring or would you prefer to remain anonymous? I don't know. I just don't, like, my ego doesn't need to be, like, caressed, I guess. Like, I don't need that. Like, I've worked really hard over the past 10 years to just heal my ego. Like, I'm going through the same thing everyone else goes through. So now I just have to deal with prana at a different level. And it could be overwhelming. And I've seen it get the best of a lot of people. And I've even had some people reach out to me and say they wish they were anonymous like me, because it would make their life a hell of a lot easier. You know? Like, I don't want to speak for Coach JV, and this is a shout out to Coach JV, and I honor him, and he's always been a very incredible friend to me. I would consider him like family, even though I haven't gotten to meet him in person yet. But he's always went out of his way, and he's been open to, you know, taking the time to communicate with me whenever needed. Although it's infrequent, it's always a beautiful thing when it gets to happen. And I think about how celebrity-like he kind of is, you know, like with such a big TikTok and such a big YouTube channel and all of that. Like, I know for a fact if he goes to a grocery store, like, there's a high chance of somebody knowing who he is. And I'm not sure I should talk with him sometime soon. How does he feel about that, you know? Because I'm the type of person that, like, I just don't want that. Like, I just want to buy my grapes and go home. You know? Like, I think the impact that I've made on this world stage is, it could be done in any form. And we should always deliver whatever it is that our purpose is to the world in a form that keeps us sustainable and able to maintain growth and not feel bogged down or annoyed by it or any of that stuff. Like, I can never imagine, not that I'm comparing myself or putting myself in the same category at all, but I couldn't imagine being somebody like Kanye West or Kim Kardashian or these people. Like, they're not even a human being anymore. They can't do anything. Everywhere they go, somebody knows who they are. They're gods, technically, right? Because when you think of a god, you think it's all people know about it, right? Everyone knows who Allah is. Even if you're a Jew, you know about Allah, right? Like, Kim Kardashian's more famous than I don't want to say Allah, but maybe it is. Like, how fucking crazy is that? That a human being that walks amongst us, who doesn't really have a skill or any wisdom to share, can have so much prana. And then every time, like, we see a video of these people, they're like crying and complaining. Like, I'm not sure what you're complaining about. And it's probably because it's really tough to be able to handle that form of prana at that scale. Utility Maximalist said, did you butt dial me last night from your Instagram, or was that a scammer? Absolutely. I don't I don't communicate with people on these platforms too regularly. I mean, most people aren't even following my real Instagram. Like, that's the funniest shit. Like, you know how many people are like, I was talking to you on Instagram, and then they show me the account, and I'm like, that's not even my account. So funny. Yeah. Yeah, these scammers gotta fucking wisen up. They're butt dialing people now. That's how you know this person has time on their hands. Yeah, typically it's a little better if people put the questions in caps. Peter McCardle says Dan Pena, who wants to be the world's first trillionaire, was Brian Rose's mentor. That's the guy that was saying Bitcoin's going to zero, right? That's like the funniest video of all time. Sir, I appreciate you. Hexagon Hero said Japanese whiskey is the best. You for real right now? Let me find out. These Japanese people, man. They're like, I heard like the best pizza in the world is some spot in Tokyo. Like, they trained in Napoli for like a long time, and then they went back there, and then whew, Japan would be fun. Peter McCardle, I've had some Irish whiskey and I didn't love it, so let me know what your favorite one is. XR Peaky Blinder says you can call your retreat the Yearning Man. No, I'm going to call it the Garrison. Gonzo, I appreciate your kind words, brother. I hope you're doing well. It's great to have you here with us, man. It was great to be able to connect on the Good Morning Crypto show. It's been pretty regular. I'm not even sure how many times. Me and JV need to get together soon. It's been a minute. Lolo Blondo said, I'm going to book a call with you very soon. Yeah, reach out. We'll definitely connect. Appreciate it. They're selling out, though. Like, I gotta be transparent. I don't know if I could keep doing the calls in 2024. It's just so hard now. I really want to be available. But it's tough. But I'm trying my best. Just D says, heading to Nicaragua in 2 weeks. Looking forward to eating fruit free of chemicals. LA fruit, not the best quality. Well, Just D, I appreciate your super chat, and I'm sending you lots of love, and I hope you have a beautiful trip to Nicaragua. Make sure to drink some coffee out there. I believe they probably have some really great chocolate, although probably hard to find the chocolatiers that actually make the chocolate, but I know the cacao itself is incredible. So yeah, go out there, drink some cacao, enjoy all the beautiful fruits. And if you're leaving the winter time, go enjoy that beautiful weather out there. Sounds like a blast. I've never been to Nicaragua, so you'll have to let me know how it goes. Zish. I appreciate your super chat. You said my father got cancer in the neck. What is your thoughts about red light, blue light therapy? Do you think it can help with comfort? All right, brother. First of all, sending you lots of love, sending healing energy over to your dad. I know that's probably tough to be going through that right now as a son. So everyone send lots of love to our brother. I gotta admit, and this has just come across me quite recently at a higher volume than it used to, but I've known about this for a while. I just haven't given much attention to it, this whole red light therapy. I have no experience with this, and I'm a real one. If I know, I'll share and I'll give my truth. If I don't, I'll be quiet. And if I could recommend somebody, I would. And I gotta admit, I can't even recommend somebody when it comes to this. So I wish I could give an answer, but I don't want to now, when I segue into what my truth is, what I would recommend, I don't want it to sound like I'm calling the red light or the light therapy bad or wrong or not the way to go. Okay. So like now that we laid out that foundation, I'm ignorant to this whole red light thing. I don't know anyone I could recommend. So if somebody is here in the chat and they have some resources, maybe videos or whatever they want to share, go for it. The tag of the user that submitted this is ZSH. Believe our brothers over in Norway, judging by the currency. So here's where I'm at. A dry fast. Like when you do an extended dry fast, cancer can't live in that environment. When you when you start going back more on the alkaline side of the pH scale, like cancer can't thrive there. So you really need your dad to flip into a more hydrative lifestyle. He needs to stop consuming things that are dehydrating his vessel, which is cooked food, processed food in general, food with no prana, food with no life force. So we need to get him on organic, best quality possible fruits. If you're living up in Norway, brother, I know that's probably real tough right now in December, you know? Like I get it. But life, the life is health is wealth is really what I wanted to say. And a big thing is the money that is going to go into the cancer treatment and all of this shit. You would be better off, you and your dad, taking a fucking trip to Mexico or Thailand or get out of Norway if you can. By the way, I'm 100% using my imagination right now. I'm just going off of the currency that they submitted, and I don't want him to send multiple super chats. Like I already appreciate the support. I just want to answer the question. It's going to require me to use a little bit of my imagination, and perhaps by me answering it this way, it could tap into a lot more people. It could be a broader frequency that's forecasted. The amount of money that you would be using on the traditional medical institutions at hospitals and going through all of this stuff regarding the diagnosis, remember it's called diagnose, it has die in it, with cancer, that whole charade that they're going to put him through. By the way, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not trying to tell you what you should do with your life. We're just thinking outside the box here. But the amount of money that's going to go into that stuff, you can be flying out first class to Thailand, eat all the mangoes and drink all the coconuts in the world and barely spend anything comparatively to what you probably spend a month of your life in Norway. I'm very aware of the currency there. It's insane. It's like $15 for a fucking cappuccino, you know? How many coconuts can you buy in Thailand with $15? So, I mean, I get why humans would want to find a technology such as this red light stuff. But the human vessel has a long-term, forever approach that never needed to require technology to stay healed. And, well, before we had technology, there was almost no such thing as cancer, if at all. That's a new phenomenon. Like things like diabetes is new. Colorectal cancer, new. These are all new phenomenons. From eating processed foods, eating too much food in general, over-consuming. So I think that there could be a approach that you could consider, but you got to get more alkaline. You got to fast. You got to get your body into a space where that cancer, where this type of stuff can't proliferate in the body any longer. And the cheapest way, the easiest way to do it would be an extended dry fast that's supervised. But then you need to have a lifestyle change. And that's why learning, you know, in my expansion mastermind course, I go through this thoroughly. I have 2 full chapters dedicated to this, Heal Thyself. It's designed with everyone in mind. I thought about truck drivers who spend their whole day, you know, a 16-wheeler driving around all hours of the day, and their only time to eat something is at a convenience store. You know, I thought about all these people, all walks of life, everyone across the board, from being young, preteen, all the way up to being elderly. So there's a lot of that in there that strategizes in it. It plans it all out to develop this new holistic lifestyle change. But if you're going to just continue eating French fries and burgers and donuts and all this horrible quality beer and to treat yourself like shit, then it doesn't matter what blue light or red light therapy you do. It just doesn't matter. And that's why I'm very cautious with that type of stuff, with those technologies, because they're quick fixes and they take people away from really changing their life. You turn these things into a crutch, and I don't want people doing that. So, hope this helps. Sarah Arias says, our hands have been cracking and we are both in healthcare, so hand washing happens a lot. Any recommendations to keep our hands from cracking? Sarah, what I would recommend doing before you get to work is to wash your hands in coconut oil, as just enough, and also consider increasing omega-3 in your diet and reducing omega-6. So stay away from the seed oils, stay away from this type of processed oils, and move on to, if you do use oils, use them topically. Or, I mean, oil pulling with sesame oil or coconut oil is also really good. But before you get into like a pool, hot tub, or in a situation where you have to wash your hands a lot because you work in food and beverage, or for instance, in this case, it's in the healthcare industry, then the next thing is reduce as much as possible using these hand sanitizers. These are horrendous for the skin. It's fucking up your skin, and it's actually making bacteria increase. So if you can get away with not using those hand sanitizers anymore, stop completely. if you need to, because of whatever reason, do your due diligence and research what is the one that's the most natural, the best one you can get. I mean, it's really oxymoronic because your pH of your skin should always be acidic. And a lot of the time, all of these hand creams and all of this shit is just, it's not designed for your skin. That's why it's an industry around it that stays rich, because they're fucking you up and then they make profit off of you continually buying their bullshit. It's like the same thing with lip balm, chapstick. It's designed to suck moisture out of your lips and to make it so that you need to keep buying and using chapstick. It's a scam. So consider coconut oil on the hands before starting your shift. I think that could be very helpful, and reduce using the hand sanitizers, and then go with more omega-3, reduce the omega-6. So omega-3, go with chia, soaked chia, and then maybe like a handful of sprouted raw walnuts, sprouted raw almonds, sprouted raw pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds will also be really good with zinc. That should help. That should get you on the right track, especially if you already know about staying hydrated, right? Kathy Katz, 27, says, I will cook Greek food for your establishment. All right, shit. I'm down. I gotta admit, Kathy, I don't know too much about plant-based Greek food. So that would be my one stipulation. But I'm excited. I've also never been to Greece. I would love to visit that country someday. Bridget, I appreciate you. Melanie says, yes, in The Sandman, the people are complaining about the same exact thing every 100 years when Morpheus meets the man in the same tavern for 600 years. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was a good show, by the way. Everyone should check that out because it's pretty short. It's not a big investment. All right, family, we got to take a quick 2 to 3 second or 20 to 30 second break. I will be right back. We're live. Kalita, I hope you're having an amazing weekend so far. You said, I came across CNC recently. It's basically consensual, a part of the BDSM world. What are your thoughts on what fuels this desire in people? So One of the things that I think we've talked about in the past is how a big part to relationships has to deal with sex, right? And it's pretty interesting when you look up statistics of why cheating happens, why affairs happen, why divorces occur. And usually it comes down to one key thing within the concept of sex, and it has to deal with fetishes. So we're all grown-ups here. We could talk about this. And what's pretty interesting is how you'll have people that are in these 20-year marriages and they have a committed, they've committed to the family. Maybe they have kids, they have a mortgage, they have all this shared assets, shared bank accounts, all this stuff going on with their significant other that they're married to. And they'll cheat on them because there's some like kink they have that's not being fulfilled. And they're able to get that somewhere else. And then they will like have that simultaneously going on, right? And then you find out later eventually that that was the reason why. It wasn't that the person brought some more value to them. Like, it wasn't that they were more attractive. It wasn't that they made them feel younger. It wasn't that they had more money. It wasn't that they had more status. It wasn't that they made them feel more better about themselves. None of that. Like, a lot of the time, it comes down to something that comes back to sex, and that specific thing that it has to do with is a fetish. And now what it seems the psychology behind that fetish thing is either something that happened in childhood, or it's something that happened during the first time you ever had a sexual encounter, or it could be the most traumatic sexual encounter you had. That's what seems to be, so we've taken it another layer deeper, right? Now, what happens here in this scenario is the person that's going through this starts to feel shame and guilt, and then they also don't even know who they could talk to about it. And if they're currently in a partnership, they can suppress it for as long as they would like, but it's going to surface eventually, right? And then there's also this other side to it where the individual feels like they need to heal it, right? Because as you get more conscious and you're aware that like you're the one who has to do the work here, even if you were in a situation where you were taken advantage of. And I know this is tough to talk about because, again, you're talking about this specific instance of a community of people and what it ties back to. And, there's a lot of trauma bonding going on in this. And in general, it's just the cycle of trauma. And I don't really want to go out of my way to say that people need to be healed. My work centers around people being vulnerable. I think through the vulnerability is where the healing happens. When you no longer feel ashamed and you no longer feel this need to hide from whatever it is that you're thinking about, desiring, etc. Because when you're liberated from it, now you have this sense of exploration instead of hiding. So I have examined, what's going on in a couple of different ways in this response. What fuels this desire in people is what I went through. I'm just re-looking through the question now, making sure I covered this. And that's really the thing. I think that healing happens through vulnerability. So I've said before, like the great awakening is the great revealing. Like the great awakening is really the one who is the most willing to allow. And that really comes back to you allowing yourself. Because so many in this world, like what the damaged ego is someone who lets someone else's truth prevail over their truth, and they will be subordinate to that truth at the expense of self. Then they become what people don't want to admit that selfless is the problem. You should never be selfless. You should always be self. You must be selfish if you are a conscious individual and aware of how the simulation works. So embodying your truth and not having all these titles and, all of this labeling and identity stuck to it could be something to be considered here. So I get it though. Like if people are going through this experience and then they find a community, they get that sense of comfort to explore it within that community, but that's not true liberation. You understand where I'm going with this? I really want people to think about what I just said. Like when you join the church, for instance, you go into a community. It's a vast community of people. But that type of place is typically the most closed-minded place to be, because the second free thinking enters the conversation and questioning and discernment and intuition, it's now satanic, or it's against the word of God, or whatever these people believe. So what happens, Khalida, is that when our ego is weak and damaged, we go into the internet and treat every place that gives us a sense of comfort because this so-called community has the same groupthink that you fit into. And that could be very helpful for a minute, but then it could become toxic, and then it could become, and I say this because I'm speaking to a conscious being right now. Like you are not even physical. You're a spirit and you're having a physical experience. And what you experienced, or what this person in the community experienced, or whatever, like these are all just things that happened here in what we call creation. It's like a big dojo to earn your black belt. So I think when one is vulnerable in their own truth, they will start to find their true tribe, and they'll release any, need to be tied down to this identity. And that will make them feel more open and willing to explore the true version of healing. Because it's not healing if you just keep yourself around people who make you feel safe and comfortable. When you're lifting weights, you're creating micro tears in the muscle. There's nothing comfortable about that, but that's what leads to growth. When you're sitting in a sauna, it gets hot and uncomfortable, and you start sweating profusely, and it gets to a point where you might feel like you're passing out, but you are detoxing there. You see what I mean? So my last thing on this is that I get that the sexual conversation is kind of hard to get into. Most people don't want to have it, especially in relationships. They save that for when it's way too late. And then they only feel a sense of comfort with people in an online forum somewhere, and there's no true healing ever to be done, because one never wants to be vulnerable in real life with everyone, with all the people. Haven't you guys heard about these people that are like suicidal in life, and then I'll give an example, a direct example. People that are gay, homosexual, and they go through their whole life hiding about that because of their community, their culture, what they think their parents would think, and all things. And then finally, this creates so much like internal problems. Like it's keeping them at such a low frequency. Stress, depression, anxiety, suicidal tendencies. But the day they come out to the world and they're just like, yep, I'm gay, this is my thing. Once they do that, that's where all of these like little compounding issues go away. It's pretty fascinating how much we store because of shame, guilt, worry, fear. I think it's a pretty common experience that a lot of people have. And what I mean right now is not going to a therapist and being like, yeah, I had this experience in my life. Like, the therapist doesn't heal you. I don't heal you. The fucking guy down the street The shaman at the ayahuasca retreat doesn't heal you. You heal you by you being vulnerable with everyone. Let it all loose, and you'll see that it wasn't that scary after all. And this is even going back to the more normal, normal's not the right word, but the more common scenario of regular family, white picket fence, Labrador retriever, fucking the guy that's working the 9 to 5 and his wife Mary. Homie's cheating on Mary because they don't want to be creative in bed. That's common. That is a very common thing. Everything in life is working out perfectly fine, but there's this shame and guilt about something there, and then it needs to be made up for somewhere. Whether that's through porn or prostitution or whatever. Just full on cheating with somebody else in the community. It's how it goes. And I think it's an important thing to talk about. I think it's something that it'll help more people go through that healing with partnerships that they're in that are beautiful, that are just having that there's that issue and it's underlining, and there's so much embarrassment for a lot of people. And for single people, for people that are looking for relationships or people that are developing one now, maybe dating, it'll set you up to be a real one from day one. It'll be, that's really what you are. So why are you, like, whatever's going on in that particular way? Looking through some of these comments, I stubbed my crypto, said waters above space station. Well, if space was real, then yes. Hardware says laughter is probably the highest form of truth that can be uttered on this plane. Laughter is definitely medicine. All right, family, we have to wrap this up soon. We've been going for a minute. It's funny when somebody with the username Costco membership says, "What do you think about Costco brand of coconut water?" You're dedicated. You're a dedicated Costco member. For real. They should make you Employee of the Month. I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't shopped at Costco. So, well, I mean, I'm sure I've been in one time, but I really don't remember. Do they have Harmless Harvest there? Because if they have Harmless Harvest, then that stuff's pretty good. But I don't know about Costco's their brand's coconut water. Is that what you're asking? I do know that Whole Foods has some sort of brand partnership, or it is Whole Foods brand version of coconut water. That one's really good too. Like, it might actually be better. It might actually be better than Harmless Harvest in terms of taste. I don't know about quality and sourcing, but in terms of taste. Travis Ryan said, "I don't know if you ever had an addiction, but what advice, if any, about breaking an addiction to people who just can't break free do you have?" It's actually the same exact thing that I was getting into moments ago. The one thing that I forgot, and I appreciate you for asking this question, I'm glad that I read it. The one thing I forgot to say in response to Khalid's question earlier is that there's this element of forgiveness. So, as for me, I have an incredibly addictive personality. I've just learned how to channel it in ways where I commit to the thing that I'm doing 110% and I become very, very like dialed into it. And it has negative consequences. It's made relationships really tough. It's made me disregard a lot of people because I just wanted to master whatever it is that I was involved in. Now, I've never had a substance abuse addiction. And the reason why I believe comes back to something that I've been vulnerable about with everyone, which is that my father was a drug addict. And that right there was why I said earlier, just a second ago, that forgiveness is crucial. So some people, when they have their parents are drug addicts or their parents are addicted to some particular whatever is going on, they now adopt that and they bring that. It's like the baton is being passed over. The way I was coded was everything that I saw that was popular and everything that I saw other people doing, I did not want to do. I saw everyone smoking cigarettes. I was like, that looks wrong. I saw everyone eating meat. I'm like, that's wrong. I saw everyone doing all this stuff. That's wrong. Every time. The music you listen to, that doesn't vibe with me. The movies you like, that doesn't vibe. Nothing everybody does, I don't like. Now, I know that that's my own ego, but I'm being vulnerable right now. Today, I'm in a different place. Today, I've learned how to master this I don't like thing. It's refined over time, but I'm letting you know about me, in that past form. So when I saw the drug use with my own eyes and the person it creates, the zombie that it creates, I just said, well, that's not what I'm going to be. And I was able to go through it, but I had resentment. I had of course, as a kid, you want to have a parent. You want to have somebody to look up to. I didn't have anyone to look up to in my own life. So that's just the way it is. I could be bitter and I could play the victim and I could hate this guy, or I could have forgiveness. So what transformed me, like somebody asked, what was the moment where like your most enlightening or awakening moment you've ever had? And that was what I said. It was me forgiving my father. That changed the game for me. That level of vulnerability allowed me access to all this hidden, internal source code that I was numb to. My advice on addiction is the awareness that everything that you are addicted to will just be traded off for another addiction. I know that sounds harmful to some, but I think if you know me, you know me. You know where I'm coming from with this. You need to know how to channel and transmute that behavior into a different behavior. But I don't want to lie to you and say that you'll never be thinking about that thing again, or no, that's not how it is. Like for me, I've always been really committed and 110% to the thing that it is that I'm focused on, and I've literally gotten addicted to it, and that's made it so everything else becomes irrelevant. I've watched that destroy many good friendships and many, connections with people. So I've needed to work on that my whole life, to be more balanced, to be more available. But I've been very emotionally unavailable in my pursuit. So all I've realized is that if I'm having this issue with people, then that means I need to work with people more. I need to get closer to people. I need to know, I need to become addicted to that, to communication, and to explore it curiously and try to have unconditional love in the process whilst having boundaries. It's just trading one addiction from music and bringing it into here. And I don't associate it as good or bad. I also don't associate the heroin addiction as good or bad. It just is what it fucking is. And it's not my say in this whole thing that you're doing the wrong thing or you're doing the right thing, because all that's going to make you feel is shitty. And again, it becomes the same theme where if somebody, let's just say for this example, was a heroin addict, they're only going to want to hang out with other heroin addicts. That becomes their circle. It's what I said before about when you are working out, it's creating micro tears in the muscle, which will then develop into bigger muscle. It's what will grow. When you're sitting in the sauna, it's hot, it's sweaty, it's uncomfortable, it sucks, but it's healing you, it's detoxing you. Most of the problem with addiction is that it numbs us, and that could happen in so many ways. I mean, how many of us have a phone addiction? We're just staring at this fucking thing all day, hypnotizing us. Looking at Instagram, just scrolling, TikTok, scrolling. That's fucking worse than heroin. Because now 2-year-olds could be looking at this thing scrolling. You don't need skills. Like, you can just scroll. It's a dopamine trigger every millisecond. It's crazy. I mean, food addiction is probably the number one that has caused the crisis we have today of chronic dehydration and disease. So what happens to the I like this idea that I just brought up, and then I need to move on because I got to wrap this one up. We've been going for a while now, but if you're somebody who's addicted to food and it's horrible, acidic, dehydrating, inflammation all day, every day, you feel sluggish after every meal, you have blood sugar issues, perhaps you have diabetes now. We've seen people do a complete transformation, and the reason they have a transformation is because they take that food addiction and they move it over into this health and wellness addiction. Now they're getting into supplements and all this, got a workout plan. I got a personal trainer. I started doing groceries instead of just ordering Uber Eats every day. You understand? That's why it was successful for them. And then it's a lifestyle change forever. They're just handing over the baton from one addiction to the next. And they channeled it in a way that was that was prosperous. That's where you see success. Denying the addiction and trying to run away from it, that will never get you any results. I see the super chat about me with Gary Cardone. I don't know who that is. I know Grant Cardone, but I don't know who Gary Cardone is. I just remember on that 3T interview, they were talking about some of the things that I mentioned were things that guy said, because I was talking about wealthy people, the difference between wealthy people and rich people. That's super funny. Appreciate you bringing that up. Tracy Curtis says, Jordan, I have to let you know my husband was really not into the things I listen to, but when I'm listening to you, he asks if you could put up the speaker. Yo, shout out to your husband. I appreciate him. It's all love. I appreciate both of you. That's really beautiful. I love when I hear people talk about watching these live streams or anything that I'm sharing with their family, with their friends, and their vibe. And I know the crypto videos could be much for some people, but it's these lives that really hits when people are vibing. Verhoofdy says, would love to watch you interview Grant Cardone. I don't know why. I don't know what he... I don't know what me and him would talk about. That'd be fun. I brought up how I would want to talk to him about Scientology, but apparently he doesn't want to talk about Scientology. Like, that's what I really want to talk with Grant Cardone about. Like, teach me about Scientology, bro. He must have invested so much in it to get to like whatever. He probably doesn't tell us what his OT level is. Let's look at the OT level scale. We're still on giraffes over here. Yeah, let's look up the OT levels. Yo, this logo is pretty lit though, right? Doesn't this logo look like a sports team? Like, I don't know about you, but like if Brooklyn had a fucking, like a baseball team with this logo, I'd be like, they look like they're going to kick the other team's ass. Right? Doesn't this just look like spicy? This is an S for spice. I could decode this thing sometimes, but it's pretty heady at the moment. I gotta get out soon. What is the list of OT levels of Mr. Hubbard? Operating Thetan. I love this shit, dude. Shout out to the Church of Scientology. You guys are the most creative scammers of all time. Oh, look at this. There's a whole list. This next live stream, let's talk about Scientology. But for now, we really gotta wrap this up. Toronto Q, I appreciate your super chat. You said, "Hey Jordan, appreciate you and learning every day from your courses." I appreciate that. Much love. You said, "Question: what would be the cause of a healthy 60-year-old male to have blood in his urine? What do you recommend to detox? The doctor wants to put him on meds." Well, Toronto Q, I'm just gonna be direct with you. You're not healthy if blood is in the urine, right? So we have to investigate what's going on. I think that there could be some I'm not a huge fan of telling people to go get x-rays and stuff like that, but if there's like any I don't know if the vas deferens is severed or there's something else going on, maybe in the kidneys. Because if I'm just being told this piece of information, then I would say that clearly this person is not healthy. Yeah. When did this start happening? If it's something super recent and random and just like out of the blue, or were they working out? Did they fall? Did some acute injury occur? Or is it just like, has it been chronic going on for the last 5 years? Like, that's the piece of information that I would ask in this scenario. Like if I was on a client call with somebody. But yeah, like that whole the whole sentence of the healthy 60-year-old followed by blood in the urine, that's not a sign of health at all. That's a big issue. So yeah, if it's something acute, that's where hospitals are helpful. If it's talking about putting you on medications, that's horseshit. Like, how could that be the problem? Like, every time you're taking meds or any supplements in pill form for that matter, it's going to fuck the liver and the kidneys. So why would anyone recommend that? Like, stay clear from that. But what I would say is definitely invest in the water distiller if you don't have that, because that's the last thing you want to deal with, is a excessive buildup of exogenous inorganic minerals in the kidneys. We need to get those out. Okay. So consider investing more in the coconut water if you can, and the water distiller, and let's flush that out. But yeah, like, you can't even really advise doing Shivambu in this situation, because I'm not sure if the blood is toxic, right? Because if the blood is toxic, yeah, there's something going on. But the kidneys are probably really shot. Really shot. Okay? Yeah. What I would recommend, if possible, is a 48-hour dry fast that's prepped. Here's what I'd recommend. Prep 48 hours of distilled water and coconut water only, and then try to do a 48-hour dry fast. I know that's rough. That's 4 days straight of no eating, but check the urine during those 4 days. And pay attention to that. Because what we're doing by a dry fast, by the way, is we're allowing the entire system to just do what it does without the influence of having to expend all this energy on digestion. Especially with the dry fast, this allows our kidneys to finally take a break, right? So why that's my response to people is because it gives you a full body reset. It's like a surgery without the scalpel. So if I hear back from, is it Toronto? Appreciate you, by the way. If I hear back, on next week's live stream, and you're like, well, on day 2 of just doing coconut water and distilled water, we had no blood in the urine, then it's like, boom. Well, then how did the dry fast go? And then you see that might be what was needed. Just the body to have a break so that it could heal thyself. That's what I teach. I'm not healing you. The fucking doctor's not healing you. The supplement industry isn't healing you. The surgery isn't healing. None of that shit. All of that stuff, it's external. You heal you. You heal thyself. You are thy own doctor. That's what truth is. Anyone else is trying to sell you on some fucking snake oil. Yeah, shout out to D Vortex. I hope she's doing well. Dan S., I appreciate your super chat, but moving forward, let's try to not talk about crypto on these, especially with super chats. You said your expected XRP top number, and then I don't know what the rest you wrote. I've been very vocal about the next cycle being between $15 to $25 with a specific focus on 22 to 24. And I've already been talking about that for enough now in my videos that I release, and I will continue to update everyone as we move forward. Trust me. I appreciate your super chat. Lou Vegas says, hey Waters, have you heard of Santos Bonacci? Yes, of course I have. I've never spoken to Santos. I've always wanted to. I know he's close friends with Logan, Decode Your Reality. And I don't know if we'll ever connect. I'm not sure if Santos knows about my work at all, to be completely honest. But I do sense we have different energies when it comes to the topics of the New World Order and who's supposedly running this matrix. But I gotta say, I have this ability to connect with people and keep them neutral and like bring them to their heart. So even if there is differences in my outlook on how I look at the apex predator, I still think that as musicians and artists, that me and him would have a beautiful exchange. So I would love to talk with him. I do have to admit that I haven't watched or consumed any of his art since like before C19. So like probably 2020 was the last time. And then since, it's just been snippets of like interviews of him. And I mean, I don't know. It seems that I just hope he's doing all right, because he risked a lot to share his truth with the world at a time where few had the energy to even care but many were interested. And I just don't want anything to come up where it's like a full tarnishing of his legacy or something like that. Not that that even matters, because that's just all ego. But I'm compassionate with this kind of stuff because I have a big audience now too. I'll just never let any of this stuff get the best of me. Like I'll never let the apex predator get the best of me. I'll never let money get the best of me. I'll never let comments in the videos get the best. Like none of that. Like I'm infinite. I have strength. And I've just seen so much negativity thrown at Santos over the past couple of years. And it sucks to see, because people are going to disregard a lot of beautiful nuggets of wisdom that he shared. So anyway, shout out to Santos. I don't know him. I've never spoke with him, but we'll make it happen someday maybe. If he even wants to entertain a conversation with me. All right, we have to wrap this one up because it is been a while. We've been going for a while. M. Davis said, Jordan, I'm going to Japan during Christmas and New Year's. Come with me. I don't know about that. Maria says, Greek foods are beautiful. Lots of plant-based food. I bet. Yo, you guys are trolling me, man. You guys are trolling me in the comments. Damn. Talk about unconditional love. It's all good. I love you guys anyways. No, I didn't have to fart before. I don't fart much. My digestion's pretty awesome. You guys are so funny, bro. This is why I love you, because we could troll each other and have fun. We need more of that. All right, I really got to go though. I just want to make sure that I get through. Bella Love says, yeah. So Bella, like your question that you're asking, I mean, this is hundreds of people just in our community that have something like this going on. So I'm glad that I talked about that, and I appreciate Khalida for chiming in with the question, because it opens up talking about a lot of other things that I think are important. Let me get through this question. Let me see. Mass Adoption says, dude, Whole Foods organic coconut water is the best, 100%. Yeah, that might be it. It's fire. But, you know, we're talking to so many people around the world. Not everyone has a Whole Foods. All right, family, we've got to wrap it up. I love you guys. I'm wishing you all a beautiful, beautiful day. We'll be doing the Red Pill podcast tomorrow, a little bit earlier than this time. I'll have it released. Got a lot going on in the market. We'll be covering everything. Probably less on the decoding side, more on talking about the market side, just because I've spoken so much about this new moon coming up, and Mercury station retrograde, and the FOMC meeting, and all of that. And then the only real thing to talk about next would be Saturnalia, and then the new year, transitioning into the year of the X, the year of the dragon. I appreciate every single one of you. Wishing you all a beautiful rest of your Saturn day. Much love.